Okay everyone, welcome to Geek Out TV, the new sort of channel where I'm going to be doing specifically electric vehicle bits. And today what I want to talk about is Ecotricity, because they're changing the way they're charging for their quick chargers at motorway service stations in the UK. So today I drove up to Birmingham from my house in Essex. En route I stopped off for a coffee and some lunch, and as I usually do, plugged into an Ecotricity point. See, at the moment as an Ecotricity customer I don't have to pay the £3 connection fee, and then it's 17 pence per kilowatt hour from then on. Now, Ecotricity are going to be changing the way they charge so that it will be 30 pence per kilowatt hour, no connection fee, but hopefully as a customer I will get a 50% discount. That's actually good for me, because 15p is less than 17p. It's a bit chilly. You know what, I'm going to finish talking about Ecotricity back at home. Yeah. That little charging thing, what did they put in? I put in about 100 miles, cost me £5.71. I can live with that. At least, then this is the key point, it is cheaper than diesel. I think it's a reasonable system. I mean, basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to encourage people to be their gas and electricity customers. And if that means they don't make any profit or lose a bit of money on electric highway custom, that's fine, because they've got you for your home power needs. And they've always tried to do that. I mean, I remember when they first started out, it was free. It was always free to charge, but you needed an RFID card, and that cost £10, and you got it free if you were one of their customers for home power. Then they changed it to the new regime. I can't remember if there was another price plan in there as well. I think there probably was. They've changed it a bunch of times trying to satisfy people. I personally don't like connection fees. I think the problem with the connection fee is it disincentivizes a short 5-10 minute charge versus a 45-minute charge, and often you only need an extra 10 or 15 miles in order to make your journey comfortable, and you can get that very easily in about the length of time it takes to fill a petrol tank. And you don't have to worry about filling your battery, because you're going to go home or you're going to go to a destination charger somewhere and you'll fill it up there overnight or while you're having dinner or whatever your circumstances are. So quite often a small charge is all you need. So paying £3.50 for 3 or 4 kilowatt hours is ridiculous, and it's about 4 or 5 times what petrol or diesel would cost. So I think that's a very bad model for people who aren't power customers of Ecotricities. Now, I got an email a couple of days ago, and what it basically said was that they are shifting from the 3rd of January to a new pricing model where they will charge 30 pence per kilowatt hour, but there will be no connection fee. Now, I think that's better, but there is a problem. At about 30 pence per kilowatt hour, it isn't a lot cheaper than petrol or diesel, but at least you do have the flexibility to charge for as long or as quickly or slowly as you want, because, you know, some cars do charge a bit slower than others, and they kind of felt it was unfair. I always personally have felt that charging by the amount of time that you're at a certain charger is truly the fairest way to do it, because it encourages you to get out of that space as soon as possible and let the next person who wants to use it come in, rather than having somebody, say with an i3 without the quick charge port, charging on a type 2 cable for 2 hours, taking only 6 kilowatts. That's, you know, from a charge point that can do up to 43. However, billing people by the number of electricity units that they put into their car is probably the next best way to do it, in my opinion. Now, as I understand it, there is still an incentive for people who are Ecotricity home power customers. They get it for 15 pence per kilowatt hour instead of 30. Honestly, 30 pence per unit is the absolute top that anybody should be charging for quick charge. Any more than that, and it's cheaper to fill your tank with petrol or diesel. And even though, yes, you're putting much cheaper power in at home, it still disincentivizes people from taking their electric vehicle on a long journey. You know, let's say I'm going to do 300-400 miles up to Scotland, I think to myself, well, why have the hassle of driving an electric vehicle and maybe not being able to charge or having to ask the end B&B, can I use some power, when I could just take my diesel car and it would cost me the same. The better solution, in my opinion, is to have it still be cheaper to take the EV, and that way we displace those miles with, you know, comparatively cleaner electric miles. Well, I hope you found this video interesting. I'm still sort of feeling my way as to sort of exactly how I want the Geek Out EV channel to work. So, you know, we'll see. But I'm going to give it a go. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have, remember to like it, share it, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next Geek Out EV episode.